The male head is an often neglected part of the anatomy. We have jackets and shirts for our torsos, trousers or kilts perhaps for our legs, shoes and socks for our feet. The head is sadly neglected today, except for the almost ubiquitous ball caps. So I thought today might be an idea to talk a little bit about hats. Your hat completes your outfit in the way that your shoes kind of ground it. So let's look at some different hats and wander through some, at least, part of the hat universe with the Prof. So without further ado, here we are. And we've got a collection, Prof, of your splendid hats right in front of us.
Yes. Very modest collection.
A modest collection of...
I hasten to add.
Of hats, yes. Well, it's no doubt it's expanding. And then this is not the full complement. That there are others, but we didn't put them up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these more or less one by one, and let's get some history, some knowledge about these, where you can wear them, where you can get them, and what you do with them. So let's get started with this first one here. It's Midnight.
Yes. This is a classic fedora. Well, this is just as classic as they get. This is most people venturing into dress hats go for a fedora first. It's just, it's got a pinch. Again, right. I have to caveat, Pete, because I know sooner or later they're going to come after me in the comment section. The experts are going to come after me in the comment section. So let us caveat that neither of us will consider ourselves hat experts.
We're not hat experts.
We're not hat experts.
Makers,
we're not hat makers. We're not, we're just two gentlemen who happen to understand or appreciate the importance of a fine dress hat.
There we are.
So please, whatever whatever our comments are, whatever knowledge we impart,
or
please,
don't
do take it with a bag of salt, not just a pinch of salt.
Not a pinch of salt.
Getting back to the matter, this is a standard fedora or a dress hat. Most men who start to wear hats, dress hats that is, this is the first go-to because in many ways it's the most versatile.
Right.
Now, when I use the word versatile, if you want to go by the classic definition of appropriateness, then there is an appropriate hat for almost every occasion. However, since hats in this day and time are more or less an affectation, then one hat tends to serve, or most gentlemen use one hat to serve as many functions as possible. So with that caveat, a fedora is a classic dress hat that goes with a business suit. So this goes with a classic business suit, right? It is sort of the most, shall I say, casual of the dressier hats.
Right.
It's the most casual, even though they are worn dressy or formally today.
Right.
But back in the day when hats were worn, according to the specific dress, this was worn with a lounge suit.
Yes.
Which, if you remember, a lounge suit, which you and I have on today,
we're wearing lounge suits,
used to be considered casual.
That's right. Yes.
So, in the same vein, the fedora was the casual complement of a lounge suit. So there you have it. That's the history.
That's the background. The fedora, called sometimes a snap brim because the brim snaps.
Correct.
And originally, the back was usually worn down. The name, of course, fedora, is the character in the play who wore the hat, and then it became, I think, the Duke of Windsor probably. He popularized practically everything because it was called a soft hat. Because it's soft, it's flexible. Now, Prof, what is this? Is this felt?
This is felt. So most of these hats are going to be made in some kind of animal felt, either rabbit. Right. It could be rabbit, it could be elk, it could be any number of, it could be beaver, for instance. This is beaver. You can see
beaver hat, yes.
You can see the texture.
Yes, indeed.
But on average, your average dress hat is going to be made of either rabbit or some kind of animal fur. So if it's a well-made hat, if it's a high-quality hat, it's going to be made of a natural or sort of organic material and not a synthetic.
Right. And they press it, I presume, or sort of press it under an iron or something to get this because it's quite strong. It's
Well,
not,
it's the way it's made, Pete. Again, I'm not going to go into the technicals of how a hat is made, but it's usually
Yes.
made on its. I mean, these are also everything here is completely handmade.
handmade. Yes.
So for these hats, all these hats are made by my hat maker, Optimo Chicago.
Optimo,
And for
yes.
those of you who are into hats, you would know that Optimo is probably up there, in my book, number one, of course.
Yes,
But I'm sure there are those of you who would beg to differ.
Well, as
but
with-
they
as
are
always,
up there,
yes.
and all their hands are entirely handmade.
And this dark blue, very, very dark blue, as opposed to black, would you recommend not a black fedora?
So a black fedora, I mean, there are those who wear them, but just like a black suit, right?
Right, okay.
It's just something that is worn expressly for funereal occasions. For instance, this is a black hat. It's a
Yes,
Homburg.
that's a Homburg, yes.
A
we'll get to that.
Homburg, or some call this sort of a Metropolitan hat. A Homburg is slightly different in the sense that it doesn't have the crease down. It sort of has sort of, a curved top.
Yes,
So this is a modified Homburg.
Right.
However, it's a formal hat,
It's
and
a
that's
stiff
why
hat,
it's black.
Yes, okay.
And that's
So-
why it's black. So this is a midnight blue, or some might call it sort of onyx. So it's a midnight blue. So this is something you might wear with a navy business suit or a gray business suit,
Or you could wear it in the evening.
or in the evening.
Or in the evening, yes. And it's very smart. It's sort of got the force of a black hat without, as you said, being
Without a
actually
collar.
actually black. And this is, so you could have it in maybe a slightly darker, but I don't think you'd want it in a lighter.
Well, you could go sort of, you could have it done in a slightly lighter shade, or even sort of a lighter blue. I do own one. Unfortunately, it's not here, but I do own one in a sweet blue. Now, that you might wear with a summer suit,
Right,
or sort of a
okay,
lighter color suit. But if you're going for a classic business look, then
Yes.
you want to stick with either sort of a dark navy like this, or a dark gray like a charcoal.
Right, and this one has the usual band with the bow here.
The ribbon.
The grosgrain band
Call it a
with
ribbon.
with the ribbon, sorry, with the
With the
sort of
bow.
a bow here.
Right.
And sometimes you see little feathers, but you don't.
Correct.
I notice you don't have feathers
No,
on any
no,
of
I
your
just think they look a
hats.
little bit too affected.
Right, okay.
It makes one stand out. You look a little bit like a pimp.
Right, okay, okay.
But I mean, there are those who like to decorate the ribbon with
Sure.
a feather or some
Sure,
other
sure,
artifact. But I just think it looks more classic, just plain with the ribbon.
And this is what? Is this a 2-inch?
This is going to be. I believe this is about 2.5 inches.
Okay.
So either 2.5 or 2.5/8. It's either 2.5 or 2.5/8, which are approximately equal.
Sure.
Some of them I've done in a 3-inch brim, like this is. You can
That's
see
right,
sort of this
yes.
is notably longer.
Yes.
But that I remember was done on a 2.5/8.
2 5/8,
You know,
okay.
5/8.
And
brim.
is the brim size of any something you need to think about?
Absolutely, absolutely. The taller you are, or the bigger you are, the larger the brim needs to be.
Okay.
So if you have, think about it. You're thinking about balance. If you have broad shoulders, you want a wider brim.
Right.
So if you have broad shoulders and you wear a small brim, it looks really odd. It looks like you have a very tiny head.
Right.
So, you think again of balance. If you've got broad shoulders, if you're a broad set gentleman, you want a broader brim. And if you're smaller, you want a smaller brim so that
Yes.
the hat doesn't overwhelm you completely.
Yes, of course, yes. So this size, I presume you chose the size.
Correct.
Okay.
When you're having it made for you, of course, you have the choice of, the size of the height of the crown, the length of the brim, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. You can get very good quality hats off the rack, by the way. They're all made by hand.
Correct.
So
Well, not all of them, but most
the good ones are.
Most fine hats are made
The
by
good ones
hand.
are. There are a lot of artisan hat makers around.
Correct.
And as Prof says, make sure you have a wide enough brim to suit your shoulder size, as I do, and as in this case, Prof got it made exactly to the size that he wanted because of his shoulder size.
Correct.
The small ones, they look like a sort of a pop bottle,
It's it's called a pork pie.
Well, a pork pie is a whole other thing, and that's
It's a whole lot of,
interesting.
but the pork pies typically come with sort of a shorter, like a smaller brim.
A shorter brim, yeah.
And that's because they're mostly casual.
They are
more
casual
hats.
They are casual.
Right.
Read the AskOkey blog on the website about
Again,
pies.
think about it. The way I look at hats is the way I look at, you think about, what am I going to be wearing with this? If you're wearing, for instance, in the winter, you're going to wear this with a winter coat, winter coat. So if you're thinking about dress coat, is built up at the shoulders.
Yep, it is.
It's built up. It's sort of like structured in shoulders. It's wide. So you want to think about a hat that balances the coat. So if you're going to wear a hat, for instance, without a coat, like a casual hat, you might wear a smaller brim like this.
Right, okay.
This is a casual hat. So if you're wearing, like, say, a blouson or a casual jacket that doesn't have that structure, then you want to go with sort of a smaller or shorter brim as well to balance the, shall I say, the silhouette of the shirt or jacket you're wearing.
Indeed. Interesting. Yes. And you may remember Sinatra used to wear a straw hat with a fairly narrow brim at one stage in his career. Now this one, is this also a fedora?
That is a fedora. That's pretty much same as that, except
similar. Yes.
It's in the color is, this is called silver belly.
Silver belly.
The color is silver belly, so it's it's a light gray, almost sort of like a cement gray.
I was going to say it's a grayish, slightly grayish brown, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you chose to have a black
band
ribbon with a hat band with that. Now, why could you have chosen maybe a dark brown? Or
you could have chosen sort of like a very dark gray or navy or anything, but I think this is either black or navy. But I wanted something like this. I want to be able to dress it up. So if I'm going to be wearing black shoes, if I'm going to be wearing black shoes with a dark suit, for instance, I want to be able to pick up the shoes with the ribbon. I think sort of the dark ribbon just kind of gives it a bit more range.
It does. Now, this one, as opposed to this one here. So this is for business and dark clothes. What do you normally wear with this one?
Well, again, a caveat, I'm not a hat expert by any stretch, but something like this I'd wear it with a medium gray suit.
Right, okay.
I could wear this with
Could be even with this one.
Or it could be with this.
Yes.
Could be with this, something like this.
There we are, yes. And by the way, everybody, while Prof is wearing it, note, it's not worn straight. If you wear it straight, you look like one of the Three Stooges.
As Frank Sinatra would say, if you don't tilt,
that's right, yes.
then it's not right.
It's not.
If a hat is not tilted, then it's not right. It just doesn't work right.
It has to be tilted a bit. And the brim has to have its curve. So, on one, not obviously falling off, but on one side. Now, this is also interesting, this one, Prof, because of this lighter color. It's more casual, so daytime, I would imagine.
Correct.
And you could actually wear this with not only a suit, you could wear it with like a leather jacket or something because the color makes it more casual.
I mean, you could, again, but I go back to the width of the brim.
Right.
The width of the brim typically dictates what outfits you can pair this with. So if you're looking for harmony and balance, you would wear this with a more structured shoulder.
Right,
sort of a dress coat or like a suit, a proper structured suit.
Sure.
So I wouldn't wear something like this with a very casual. I mean, of course you could. You're not going to get arrested.
No, indeed. Well, I presume
you're not going to get arrested by the fashion police. But I personally wouldn't wear that with anything casual.
Right. Okay. Jacket, structured jacket only, but very, very smart, and at the same time, very striking. And the lighter color makes it look somehow less aggressive.
Less intimidating.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Now, AskOkey doesn't have a line of hats yet.
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Maybe someday in the future.
Now, this one here, this is an interesting one, probably,
yes.
because it's got a very wobbly brim.
Yes.
And it's sort of woven with slightly different colors. Tell us about this.
Well, do you know how much this hat costs?
I have no idea.
Start with. Okay. This might shock a lot of you, but for those of you who are hat aficionados, especially if you're a Panama aficionado, Panama hat aficionado, you might appreciate what I'm about to say. This hat costs $10,000 US
Crikey,
dollars.
Moses.
Yes.
Why?
Because it is made touch. This is called
yes.
Superfino Montecristi.
Right.
So
And?
it is the finest form of straw you will ever find now. Look at these two hats.
Right.
They're both straw hats, right?
Right, yes.
Can you tell the difference?
Obviously, yes.
Okay. So this is a regular straw
Yeah,
hat.
this is actual straw.
This
yes.
is actual straw. This is also Montecristi.
Right.
A hat like this is going to run you about, I'd say, $2,000.
Crikey, Moses.
Yes. I've had this about
Golly.
8 years. I've even had it repaired.
Right, so it works out to about $1,200 a year.
So
Yes,
far.
okay.
So a hat like this, which is made from fine, like original Ecuadorian straw, is going to run you anywhere between $1,500, I'd say $2,000 if it's custom made like mine. This is custom made. This is about $2,000.
Oh, it's a custom made one. So
Every hat on this table is custom made.
and I take it woven by ladies on their thighs or something
Well, I'm not
like
sure
that.
exactly how, where, what location, but this is also made by Optimo. So a hat like this is this is a classic Montecristi straw, Ecuadorian straw.
Ecuadorian
This is the
straw.
classic. You can see sort of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grains.
yeah.
Now, this here is called a superfino,
Right,
and you
because
can
it's
you
super fine,
can
yes.
tell the difference. Look
Yes,
at the
yes,
difference.
I can see that, yes.
This
So
is
sort of-
woven. Every stitch you see there is woven by hand.
So this is sort of the vicuna of straw.
This is the Rolls Royce of straw. Now,
okay.
there are straws that cost more than this. I'd have you know. There are hats that cost $20,000 and more.
Really?
They're just sort of the finer the weave, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
they're really the people who go really nuts on this
Yes,
thing, and if they
yes.
can afford it. And their hats, if you
Yes.
want $20,000, $30,000,
Indeed, yes.
quality Montecristi,
Absolutely.
it can be sourced.
For
But
the price of a car, you get a hat.
pretty much.
Yes.
So, but this is sort of called a superfino. You can
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see how you can see.
Yes,
you
no, you can.
It feels like silk when
Yes,
you
it
touch
does. It actually feels like cloth, you're right. And it's got a pattern to it. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's got a pattern to it. Prof, you see these dark and light
Yes.
straws here.
Yes.
Now, at the same time, it's got an interesting sort of a bone along something.
This
along
is called an optimo.
Uh-huh.
So the style of hat. So again, this is sort of a teardrop, which is very similar
a little
to those.
bit like those.
So this
yeah.
is what you call a classic teardrop, which is sort of the basic shape that most dress
Yeah,
hats
yeah,
have. So this is an optimo. This is a Montecristi hat made in a teardrop. Okay. Now this is a Montecristi hat made in an optimo shape. It's
Right,
called
okay.
the Optimo Montecristi. And the reason is you have this, it's got this, the crown is tall,
Yeah,
it's flat
yeah,
with
yes.
this line.
That's right.
It reminds you of what colonial governors used to wear.
I was going to say, yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes.
Back in the day, but
Yeah.
this is called an Optimo.
Right.
An Optimo Montecristi, the shape itself, sort of this dome with a line running across the middle.
So
So
there.
this particular hat is an Optimo Montecristi made by Optimo
Made by
hats.
Optimo hats,
Correct.
yes. And the brim just sits there. You can't pull it down. It
No,
doesn't
it's
have a-
meant to be one sort of...
Just like that.
Just like that, as a bowl, almost.
I would say, given its provenance and its price, you would wear it awfully carefully.
Oh, yes, this comes out only once in a while.
Right.
This is when I need to run errands. This is that is my summer hat, or these are
Yeah,
my summer
yeah,
hats when I need to run errands. These are classic. This is a Milan straw.
And so this is just one before we get onto that. So this and the Optimo, they have black bands. And
Correct.
somebody told me that, strictly speaking, a Panama has a black band.
It should black or just for contrast, or
Right,
like
okay.
a dark navy or
Right,
a midnight,
right,
something like that. Some choose other colors as well, but it's just black is more dressy because
Sure.
you could wear this with a suit in the
Yes,
summer.
yes.
Yeah.
And you could wear this one with a suit as well.
Correct.
Although this could also be really casual.
Could be worn casually,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it
but
has that
this is
advantage.
very dressy. This is the most formal, the optimal. The optimal Monte Cristi
exactly.
is the most dressy type
Yes.
of Panama hat.
But other people make this, not only Optimo.
No. Many other vendors make that.
And the interesting thing about Panama hats is they don't come from Panama. They come from Ecuador.
No, they come from Ecuador. And do you know how the name Panama came?
I do not.
So I think it was either it wasn't Harry Truman. It might have been. No, I don't think it was FDR. It might have been FDR. I'm not sure. But when he went to open the Panama Canal,
That was his cousin, Theodore Roosevelt.
or Theodore Roosevelt.
yeah.
Yes, it might have been Theodore Roosevelt. When he went to open the Panama
Right.
Canal, he had on one of these
Okay.
Monte Cristi
Right.
hats. And it became known as the Panama hat.
Just for that reason.
Just for that
Yes,
reason.
Yes.
Because when he was inaugurating the Panama Canal, he had on a straw hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you have the misfortune not to have very much hair, then one of these is really indispensable in the summertime because it looks great and it also serves a kind of protective function. So think about it. Rather than the ball cap, try one of these Panamas. And you can get decent Panamas. I have one, which I hasten to add, did not cost $10,000. This one has a brown band and a slightly different shade. It doesn't have the bow on it. It's just
This is a very casual. So again, like I said, you can notice the brim is more shorter.
Yes, it is.
So this is something I wear very casually with shorts
Right.
or linen pants without a jacket, with just a linen shirt or with a casual linen, throw over in the summer. So that's why, again, the brim is very short. This is something I would wear with like an unstructured jacket or without a jacket.
Yes, and the difficulty with these Panamas, especially with that one, is that they're difficult to pack because you can't crush them.
No.
You could actually crush one of these and just pop it back.
Well, I wouldn't recommend crushing.
Okay.
So they're rollable hats.
Rollable
They're
hats.
actually hats that are crushable and rollable.
Okay.
None of these are. These are all
okay.
sort of structured hats. So they all come in boxes. So you see those boxes.
Yes.
You can grab one of those boxes, Pete. So these all come in boxes.
Yes.
Every one of these hats comes in, and when transporting them, they are transported in these boxes. You can see it's got sort of a hole here for the crown, so it ensures that the hat is well preserved like that, and the brim sits on top of it.
That's right.
And then you cover it.
And you cover it up, and that Optimo gets really covered up and kept very, very
And there's
carefully.
a whole bunch of boxes
That's right,
behind us there, but that is how you transport these hats. They're not what you might call crushable, rollable hats,
Right, okay.
which do exist. But a lot of crushable, rollable hats are casual hats.
Yeah, okay.
So proper dress hats are sort of, they're not hard per se, but, it takes a while to shape these things and to steam them. You have to steam them.
Okay, yes.
You have to sort of shape it. So you want to preserve the shape. You don't want to kind of roll it up.
And difficult nowadays because when you go into restaurants, for example, you take your hats off,
There are
they
no
don't
hat
have
stands.
a rack anymore.
No hat stands.
No, they don't even have, some of them, coat racks. So you're really stuck and you have to put it on the chair, the next chair, and hope nobody
sits on it.
But these are the Panama's summer hats, obviously, or if you live in a very hot climate, then all year round hats. Nice and cool, leather band inside, and
It's called a sweatband.
a sweatband, but nice and cool for any sort of
Which
weather.
captures all the perspiration.
It does indeed, yes.
You can see
Yep.
sort of the sweat. After a while, you can sort of see the leather.
Oh, I
picking up
know.
the sweat.
Yes, and then it kind of gets brittle, doesn't it? Now it's a straw hat.
Correct.
It's a very structured hat. It's really stiff to the touch, and it's made with a very coarse straw compared to these Ecuadorian hats.
So this
here.
is
And
not Ecuadorian straw.
No, indeed, no. This is a boater, and this is not Optimo.
No. This is made by Lock & Co.
Yeah.
These are more kind of, should I say, more commercial.
Right,
You
okay.
find this everywhere. This is not very expensive.
No.
It could be made of raffia or coconut
Yep.
or whatever
Yep.
they used to. But this is called a boater. It's a very traditional, shall I say, English hat. It is one to, well, as the name suggests, boating.
Boat races,
Boat
yes.
races and things of that nature.
Yes.
With your sporting stripes.
That's right, yeah.
But obviously now it's they're more or less a statement of style. So you don't you don't need an invitation to a boating regatta to wear one of these. But it is called a boater, and it's considered slightly formal
Really?
in the sense that it's one to the boating regatta, which is a formal event.
So you're not going to wear this round and about.
I mean,
during the
people
day.
do. A lot of people do wear them out and about with shorts, but the original way,
Yes.
you know, they are worn with blazers.
Yes.
They're
yes.
worn with the boating stripes and proper blazers. So in that sense, they are formal hats.
And of course,
I've also seen these worn with even tuxedos
wow.
in the summer.
Huh.
So I've seen this one with tuxedos in the summer. You know,
Amazing.
as a summer hat. Exactly.
Amazing.
You might see like some pictures of Fred Astaire
Right,
wearing
yes,
this
yes.
with a tuxedo, and even sometimes I think I might have seen him wearing this with evening tails.
Wow.
Correct.
One wonders if he was just doing it for fun, because it's an odd combination. And of
Well,
course-
it is a formal hat, Pete. Remember again,
Right,
it's
right,
a formal
right.
hat. So in the summer, when it's too warm to wear fur,
Right.
and where a fedora would just seem out of place, it just
Yes.
seems too casual to be worn
right,
with a tuxedo or evening dress.
Yes.
Something like this it's harder, it's got more structure,
it has.
just feels a lot more formal or dressy.
Indeed. And of course, these were what sailors wore. Around about the time, if memory serves, of Lord Nelson. I wasn't there, but I've heard it on good authority that sailors wore them originally. Interesting how they get the straw to be so stiff, and you know it doesn't fold like this Panama straw folds here. So it's obviously been treated with something and pressed in a kind of, maybe with an iron or something of that kind. But varies much. Now, where do you wear this?
So, like I said, this I would wear with a blazer.
Right.
I have a couple of boating blazers, and I have a regular navy blazer.
Yeah,
so in
yeah,
the summer, for instance, if I were going to a garden party, something a bit dressy, I'd wear a navy blazer, say cricket flannels,
Right.
and just, you know, put
Very
this on
smart,
either
yes.
with a regimental stripe tie
Right.
or sort of a college tie.
Yes.
So that's just sort of a very classic, dressy, English
Yes,
summer
indeed.
look.
So something to think about. And if you feel that these sorts of hats, the Borsalino or the fedora and Panamas are a little bit just too mainstream, then you want to consider a boater. Back in a moment after station identification. Are you the best dressed man in the room wherever you go? If not, why not? It's not that difficult. AskOkey makes bespoke suits, jackets, trousers, and other garments for discerning men all over the world. So next time you look around and feel that you're not quite presentable, give us a call, send us a mail, or send us a direct message on the social media channels, and we'll kit you up to look like a king. Bye for now. We're back. Presume that you've refilled your bourbon glass, or whatever it is, and it's set for another 25 minutes or so. I always say, word from our sponsors, you are our sponsors, so don't forget, like and subscribe if you don't mind. It keeps the show going. Now, Prof, we've done straw and we've done fedoras, dress fedoras. Now we come to what I think is really one of the best, and I've said this several times, in your collection, and could you tell us about this one?
This is called a Belmont.
Yeah.
And it is sort of a modified pork pie.
Yes.
In the sense that it's got this sort of, sort of the crown looks a little bit like a pork pie. It's
does.
Sort of cylindrical, a bit round rather than oval.
Yes.
But it's called the Belmont. And this particular hat was somewhat made popular by the architect, Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah, he did wear one.
And he wore this, he was very well known for wearing these. And in fact, Optimo, who makes this, has a particular model that they call the Lloyd
Really?
Wright.
Okay. Did they make his hats?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I doubt it. But he was very well known for wearing
Yeah.
this. So this is called a classic Belmont. It's not a very, you don't see this around.
No.
But, if you're sort of, if you're regular in the jazz circles or sort
Well,
of
it
like
used to be, certainly,
jazz,
yes.
blues,
Yes.
The artistic, creative circles.
Yeah.
So you find a lot of jazz musicians wear the Belmont.
Or did.
At the time wear the
yeah,
Belmont is because it's just very expressive.
It certainly is. I think it's magnificent. And I've always said those pictures a few years ago that we had of you in, I think, this jacket maybe with the Belmont were very good. And I presume it's named after the race course. The Belmont race, possibly. Lester Young, any of you are saxophone fans out there, Lester Young wore one of these. Thelonious Monk was seen in one. But it's just, because it's always worn with the brim up, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And it's just...
Never with the brim down.
Never with the brim down.
It's worn with an open face.
Yeah, an open face.
So an open face is sort of like when you wear your hat up that way, it's called an open face.
Open face,
which means you want to show your face.
Right.
When you wear it down like that, so that's a snap brim.
Yes.
Right. So this the Belmont is
just put it on for a second.
The Belmont is worn always with an open face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really got such a personality. It really has. But it's definitely casual.
Yes, very
Definitely
decidedly
casual.
so.
Yeah, decidedly so. So you don't wear it to scare people the way you might wear this.
Correct.
If you were,
it's not meant to intimidate.
It's not meant to be intimidating.
It's
quite
with
the opposite. Yes.
Open face. Your face is supposed to be clear.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're a performer. You don't want to be hiding your face.
No. Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. No. It's really got a personality. Not very commonly seen. If you've already got a couple of these, possibly one of these straw versions of Panama, you might consider a Belmont. And of course, if you cut down the brim, you get the pork pie made very famous by Gene Hackman in The French Connection. Had he had a wider brim, it would have been a Belmont. But this is not a toy. It's obviously been, it's well structured. So again, it's not a rollable hat. It's been made very, and this is what,
it's also felt.
It's felt,
some form of felt, some kind of felt, some kind of animal skin.
No, it's beauty, absolute beauty. And as I said, it really has its place, I think, in the wardrobe scheme of things. Now, this one, little bit like these two.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a different color. It's a
different color. The brim is, I think, probably close to this one. So
correct.
2 5/8.
2 5/8, correct.
2 5/8. Correct. Other than that, pretty much the same.
It's just brown. It's just, this is called elk. This is done in elk.
It's a slightly fuzzier felt, isn't it?
So this is done in elk.
Yeah.
I think the skin is elk.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's brown. So something like this I wear with tweeds and sort of more casual.
Okay, yeah.
The browns, the earth tones. So this is something you might wear. So where that is more appropriate for the office or for the weekday, and that's your weekend hat to be worn with your tweeds and casual suits in the weekend.
Tweeds and casual suits.
Correct.
Yes. So you wouldn't wear this with that one, for example, for some contrast?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But this you could.
That I could.
That you could.
Sure.
The Belmont wouldn't look quite right.
It wouldn't look.
No.
You could. You could in the sense that it depends on where you're going.
Yeah, sure.
So if I'm going to a jazz lounge, I probably could just throw this on with a suit like this, which is not. Yes. This is not a business suit.
No.
So something like this, I could just sort of toss it on and wear to a jazz lounge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. So each hat has its place. Each hat really makes you look different. And I think this is the point, Prof, is that, as I was saying, this is slightly intimidating, possibly. So if you're going to fire somebody, walk into the office wearing this. If you're feeling cheerful. Then you've got this one, or the Belmont. Now this is interesting, because what do you? It's not like it looks at the top like a fedora, but it doesn't bend like one.
It is a fedora. Well, I mean, it is sort of. It's called. They call this a Metropolitan. It is. You know, it is really. I mean, it's a snap brim.
Okay.
You just have to walk it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
But this is, what would you call this? Burgundy.
This is burgundy.
Yeah.
This is a burgundy, very dark burgundy, and this is beaver.
This is beaver felt, because it's very woolly.
You can feel it.
Yeah, it's very woolly.
The skin. This is
this sort of hat, you really need a Cadillac. you need an Eldorado.
It would help if you had one.
A Fleetwood. Did you know what I mean? It's got a tremendous personality. Where do you wear a burgundy hat from?
Well, this is certainly for evenings.
Right. Okay.
You know, it just has to be the right outfit. You know, it has to be an evening outfit, something a bit jazzy.
Would you wear this with, for example, your cream-colored dinner jacket?
Probably not.
Okay.
It's just too casual for a dinner jacket.
Okay.
But if you were wearing going out in the evening with a sport coat, a dark sport coat, because in the dark it looks almost black.
Yeah,
in the dark, without ambient light, it looks
dark brown. Black. Yeah.
But something like this, I like to pair with things in sort of the burgundy. So if I had like a burgundy sport coat, or a sport coat with some burgundy in it, something like that. I like to sort of play around a little bit with color. But certainly this is sort of more more jazzy, something more very playful for evening outfits.
Certainly is. I was going to say, not the shape, but the color and the texture makes it, or let me ask that another way. Does the texture
It makes it even more casual. Correct.
Okay.
The fact that it's beaver and it's got sort of this very textured finish.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Makes it even more casual.
It's a woolly sort of finish.
Yes.
And when you say this is elk and this one's elk and this is beaver and so forth, that means that they've made the cloth out of the hair.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not the hide that they've used for the hat; it's the hair.
It's the hide itself.
Oh, it is.
It is, of course. This is the real skin. So this is real skin.
Oh, it's the hide.
Yeah.
I see.
It is the hide,
okay.
actually. This is real skin.
I thought it was felt.
No. I think it's the real skin that is used to make the hat, of course.
Wow.
I mean, that's why the hats are expensive.
Well, I can imagine. Yes, you've got to go and shoot an elk, make a few hats. Now, this is sort of what we might call the serious uncle of the crew here.
The diplomatico.
It's almost like a Homburg. If it had a straight.
If it had a straight crown, so if a Homburg would have sort of, it would be almost
that's
like
right.
that.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Right, so Homburg would be almost like that, like without the creases. So.
But this is called a diplomatic.
This is called a. So actually, you could sort of reshape this, right? So if you want to be a bit more creative, you could actually reshape this.
Yes.
And then you have a Homburg, practically.
Right. But do you have a Homburg?
I don't. No, I don't. This is a diplomatico. It's a modified. So it's got it's pinched. Whereas a Homburg is not pinched. No, but something like this, it's pinched by the front and it's got a crease down the middle. So. But the brim itself, right? Sort of this upturned brim is very class.
And with the band around it,
the ribbon around it,
black ribbon. So even though it's an open face hat like this one here, it's definitely for a different kind of occasion. I think we've seen you wearing this with evening dress.
Yes, so something like this, Homburgs back in the day were worn with frock coats. Frock coats and tails sort of all sorts of ceremonial daytime formal wear. But something like this is still worn, say, with evening wear, your tuxedo and things of that nature. Not with a morning dress, certainly. No. Morning dress comes with a top hat, which we have somewhere, but you didn't bring it out.
No, I didn't bring it out, no. I figured we had.
But, so something like this I would wear with a dinner jacket in the evening or with a tuxedo.
As I said, the only difference...
Or you can wear it with a suit. I mean, in the daytime.
You could, yes.
So you could wear this with a standard business suit, especially if you want to sort of evoke the Westminster look, or sort of minus the frock coat, of course. You could wear this with, and I'm sure there are those traditionalists who still wear something like this with a business suit. This used to be the business hat.
Right.
So before, when the fedora was considered a casual hat, worn with lounge suit, when business dress was sort of frock coats, and so this was your classic, the homburg was your classic business hat.
Indeed.
In black, of course.
Yep. And you've got very little scope. I mean, you can only ever wear it on serious occasions, whereas something like this, you could wear with a suit and far more range. So what we've got is evening, daytime, formal, informal, summer, and of course these are sort of all-weather. These are all-weather hats. These strictly for the summer. The boater, kind of a unique hat in the collection, in that it's summery but formal in its own sort of way.
Right.
And then the Belmont, if you want to push the boat out a bit and do something a little bit different. Prof, curious thing, because you very often wear these hats when you go out, particularly, well, daytime or evening time. But you find that most men don't. Is this because they can't be bothered, or it's because nobody else is wearing them? Because it really does make you look sort of fully dressed, if you know what I mean. And it's curious that it's only now, probably the last 40, 50 years, say, that men have felt fully dressed without wearing hats. Because before that, I can remember very, very well, they always did. They always did. And you wonder why they don't.
Well, I mean, legend has it that I think it was JFK who went without, or who did forego a hat for his inauguration.
That's right. Yeah.
Strangely enough, he had on morning dress.
Yes.
You know, it really beats me why he kind of went to the trouble of wearing a morning dress and decided to forego the hat entirely. Yes. But I think legend has it that after FDR failed to wear a hat, and you know, he was young and he was seen as something of a fashion icon, or an idol for a lot of young people in the early 60s and or most of the late 50s, early 60s, where we saw a lot of social strife, a lot of, I guess they call it sort of the flower revolution.
That's right, yes.
There's a lot of turmoil. You had the Vietnam War. There's a lot of rebellion, and we've talked about this in any number of episodes. Why men stopped wearing.
We did, yes.
Suspenders. Why they stopped wearing, you know, different things.
At least they still wear clothes, probably.
There was a big sort of revolt around that period, and you know, I think a lot of things were just dispensed of, and I think the hat was a victim of that particular revolution. And since then, men haven't really taken it up again. Now, why don't men, or why haven't men returned to hats after all these years? I think most people just don't want to stand out.
Possibly.
You know, a lot of people would rather just fit in the nice middle and just be entirely anonymous.
Yeah, indeed.
Because today, it's not like, I mean, back in the day, everybody wore one, so you didn't stand out. But today, if you wear a hat, obviously, it really, really sticks out right away. And a lot of men who can handle that sort of attention, not me.
No, indeed, Prof. No, we would
not me. So
never accuse you of
so
that.
I think that's the main reason why men shy away from wearing hats. But when and if you do pick up the habit of wearing hats, you just don't look back, because you realize how much it completes an outfit.
Oh, of course, yes. I think one challenge is the height of the ceiling in your car. Like my car, for example, there's no room to wear the hat.
You're supposed to take your hat off when you're in the car.
Oh, am I?
I mean,
I see.
I mean, back in the day when you rode a wagon, obviously it was an open air wagon. You could wear a hat. But obviously, I mean, if you're in a car, you know.
Nowadays, but then cars, for example, if you ride in cars from the 50s, they were much taller. There's much more room.
Perhaps.
You could actually keep a hat on. But now, I think that, I don't know if that's one reason. Also, men started to have long hair. And when you have that puffy hair that people had in the 70s, you don't want to stick a hat on it because you spend all that time sort of fluffing it up, haven't you?
Yeah,
So
I'm
that
not
may
sure.
have
I'm not sure. I just
reason.
think it's just a lot of people feel intimidated wearing hats, and they don't want to stand out because it really marks you out right away. But like I said, you know, for some of us, that's actually we take that as an advantage. You know,
yes.
I
take it as a challenge.
I take it as a challenge, so to speak. So there you have it, Pete.
So now, if you were going to recommend, I mean, you're already advising the world out there that they ought to think about wearing hats. Not everybody is going to go off to Optimo and put down his retirement savings on an extra fino.
An extra fino, certainly not.
So where should he start? Maybe something like this one here?
That's a standard place to start. So if you had just the choice of one hat, if you, let's say you're curious about hats and you want to try something out, you start with a dark, sort of either in dark navy or dark charcoal fedora. You know, a hat like this at any good hat shop, hat maker, this would run you almost at about $1,000.
But you can get them for a lot less.
You could get them for $100. You can get them for $50, right? But you know they're not going to be made to this standard.
No, obviously not.
So if you are daring, let's say, you know, if you have a fine, you know, let's say you've already invested in a bespoke wardrobe or in sort of high-end shoes, and you're looking for, I mean, you're not going to wear sort of a beautiful bespoke suit and high-end shoes and then you put on a cheap hat.
No,
right?
Indeed.
You know, there's nothing that kills an outfit like a cheap hat because it sticks out like a sore thumb. So let's say, you know, this is for those of you who, let's say, have already crossed that threshold of, or sort of the financial, you know, pain or threshold, and let's say you're able to, you know, wear bespoke suits and fine shoes and other fineries, right? And you're deciding to try out hats. A hat like this is going to run you, from a good hat maker, it's going to run you about $1,000, right? Which is reasonable because it's going to last you a lifetime.
Of course, yes.
Especially if you're going to use it frequently.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to cost you about $1,000. And I would recommend sort of something like this in navy, dark navy, or dark charcoal.
Charcoal gray.
And you can just wear it with your business suits, or even sort of wear it with other suits, just sort of to try it out and
that's right.
and get a feel for how you look in it, and sort of, you know, and then you can delve into other.
Yes, and then there are also other options. I mean, for example, you've got the cloth cap that you can wear on the weekend, and you have one of those, or at least one. So it's not only these sorts of hats, but like we said, a good starting point here, and then you can branch out, as Prof has done, to expand your collection. You can get good, decentish Panama hats. You can get them ready-made. You don't want to order them online because unless you really know your hat size, you want to be a bit careful with that. So there are most cities, London, New York,
you can order them online if you know your hat size.
If you know your hat size,
you can order them online.
And you know the maker, then it's safe to do that. So, thank you very much, everybody. Pleasure being here, as always. Prof, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for allowing us to make ourselves free with the collection. And we look forward to you being with us next time. Bye for now.
Goodbye.